Uh-oh. Welcome to Sing Into the Intercom. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm Jim Byron, and with me, we've got Amy Muchko of Happy Medium Review. Today, we're going to talk about how Jesse Wells won the Americana Free Speech in Music Award and how I wrote Taylor Swift's song 22. Now, that's a weird story. Might seem unbelievable, but just so you know, YouTube, I am making a copyright claim of that song. So before you flag me for playing it, just know that I am the original writer of it, no matter what the internet says.
Well, I was going to mention
Amy?
that, yes, definitely. And I was going to mention that that's one reason why we do Jim Byron radio, because there's no copyright infringement. But also, there are some ways around this, apparently, if you have premium with YouTube.
Yeah, and since we're on the subject of free speech and music, let's just talk about the whole concept of like just being able to play whatever song you want, you know, and not getting taken down for it, you know. I mean, like there is some level of like potency and urgency and like importance to that, right?
Certainly, I would think so. I mean, I'm sure other art, like legendary artists.
That's like the whole folk tradition of music is like playing other people's songs and not worrying about copyright. You know,
Johnny Cash comes to mind, and Bob Dylan would be someone who's been played a lot by other people, and maybe some people like even do things that he didn't sing or Jimi Hendrix sang. You know.
All right, everybody can see that we have YouTube up on the screen, but let's just get us for a while until we get YouTube actually playing. Hey, everybody, now you can see us better.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, keep on rocking in the free world. 40 years, Farm Aid 40.
All right, so while we're on the subject of free speech and music, and since we've talked about the Second Amendment on this channel, I've got a song that's kind of about loving people and guns, which I know those things don't usually go together, but let's just see how this song goes. It's called "This Machine Loves People." Let's see how I haven't written it yet, so it's like it's going to be freely written in form of speech right in front of your face, right here, right now. Right, Amy?
Pretty radical. It certainly is. It's unfolding before as we go. This machine loves people.
They say guns don't shoot people. It's the folks behind them. But a gun sure makes it easier to get someone's tombstone grinding. But this machine loves people. From the apartment to the steeple. This machine loves people. What if every gun said that? And every person who owned one had to agree to that. This machine loves people. This machine loves people. This machine loves people. And it loves machines too. It loves your computer. And it loves you. This machine loves people. How about that? The ones that are big. The ones who ain't as big as that. This machine loves people. This machine loves people.
Absolutely. I really love that it focuses on love and how that can be a machine. You know, it can be a machine.
A machine is capable of love. I'm going to put that out there right now. We've made it so machines are capable of love.
I asked Gemini that, but they don't have the greatest response. or yet.
What?
They're still under development, you know. But I watched them.
I don't know, Amy. I don't know about that. I think we've kind of already shown that machines are capable of loving themselves. If they're capable of loving themselves, they're capable of loving us, you know?
Just based on self-preservation.
Do you really think that we need any more proof?
No. Unless it turns on us like in, hell or something. But hopefully we have.
Let's get straight to the first segment of the video, which is the part about Jesse Wells winning the Free Speech and Music Award, the Americana Free Speech and Music Award. Are you ready for that?
I would like to ask where that happened, because I'd never heard of this. I may have heard some buzz about it, but
okay, let's check the date. It looks like this was posted on YouTube. Are you really not gonna? Okay, 6 days ago. So this was posted 6 days ago. And that was pretty close after he won the award. So it's very recent. It was like last week.
Interesting. And right now that is like, a thing, free speech. And that's interesting. Do you want to tell us more about the festival?
Free speech seems to be an important issue coming up right now, huh? But we're not going to get into the polemics and politics of that, are we? We've already gone into that.
It's been exhausting. And just the fact that we're here doing this and speaking freely, and this is what we're choosing to speak about intentionally.
Yeah.
Which is this. Because that's what we're here for. Music.
There certainly seem to be some people who don't want everyone to have free speech, especially not the people who have something against their agenda.
Well, yeah, and it seems like maybe they've said too much and now are a little terrified of things that are. I mean, we're in the
let's
viral.
Let's not talk about the polemics of it. Let's not talk about.
We're not going to keep doing it, but listen, this is a digital age, and now we have. It's kind of like when we got footage in Vietnam. It's changing the tide here. There's documentation, body cams.
The shifting of the tides. The shifting of the tides.
The shifting of the tides. Right.
Well, do you want to listen to the shifting of the tides by me before we get into the Jesse Wells video, or do you want to go straight to Jesse Wells?
Let's do the shifting of the tides, but I also want to mention, I have another thing to say. I was reading.
All right, everybody, this is my song, The Shifting of the Tides.
I'll come back to what I was going to say after the shifting of the tides, and I will remember. I was going to talk about the punishment as well, so I keep bringing that up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, but you know how the nature of these podcasts are. Like,
I don't mind. This is a live stream.
We can't. Sometimes the flow,
It's all gravy here. The gravy train.
All right. Do you see it on the screen right now?
Well, let me see if I can make it bigger.
See it on the screen, Amy?
I think I can do something here. Not well enough to read it, Jim.
Hey, Amy, do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, and
do you see the screen? Do you see the video on the screen?
Yes, I can read it now. Do you want me to read from it?
Yeah, why don't you read it?
Right. It says on November 20th, 2011, an evening following the police raid of a local Occupy encampment, protesters crowded together effectively to close the block of 101 Market Street, San Francisco, to automobile traffic. A riot squad maintained the blockade on the grounds that the demonstrators had the right to continue as long as they were exercising their right to free speech. Pentagon Papers whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg spoke to a lively crowd through a megaphone. Then the Revolutionary Poets Brigade appeared and performed. This music video adapts the original footage. And that is the Revolutionary Poets Brigade at Occupy San Francisco.
That's right, Amy. That's right. This is a historical event that took place. It's not just a music video,
November 28th, 2011. So we're talking 14 years ago.
That was more than a decade ago. I can't believe how old I am.
Well, believe me,
All right, let's be
less
quiet.
than 10 years have gone by.
3 generations
Oh, here we are.
Call us. Only desist and join.
Marching protesters fill the roads, picket signs line the streets and roads. We are taking back the land that has been stolen, declaring that the jig is up. For now we have had enough. Yes, the people are demanding pollution. Like the morning sun glides, we too are now on the rise, and we're gonna be putting it all in. Oh, it's the shifting of the tides of them shift.
Whoops.
This is great, and it's the sight for sore eyes right now. And to remember this, and
Even move with time, change is the only constant.
his life keeps moving down the line. The mountains move with time. Change is the only constant. And
On land.
we're hoping to get to a point in time when we have less. We're gonna get there.
Together, we're reoccupying our future. May the long arc of history carry our valiantly toward justice.
Politics bound while the two holders light their candles, praying outdoors neath the light moon. Oh, reclaiming the broad boulevards beneath the stars.
And this sounds, I love this. And I wish it would stop lagging, but we can't control everything.
It's the shifting of the tides with them. Shift them. Shift. Oh, it's the shift.
I wrote this poem. That's not me reading it, but I wrote this poem.
They have grown. Eat the fruit of truth. The prophecies, they shall come true. Brothers and sisters, the spell has been cast like an ash, unaffected as a thief in the quiet night. Shall come like an avalanche. Beware! There is danger in being on the wrong side of righteousness. The human spirit, like an avalanche.
Great poem. Is it called? What is the title of the poem? Can we read it anywhere?
Unfurling, blossoming, glacial.
All right. Amy.
I love the poem. I love the poem, and again, the footage is sight for sore eyes, and again, very wonderful that we have this and share this archive.
Hey, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, 1 second. Let me try something real quick.
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can? Yeah, it's, it's being a little wonky here. We'll get there. Again, we always have these problems. I think right now there's a lot of people uploading to these this platform, and I think it has a lot to do with feeling a need to speak. Again, this video, the title is about
Sure, but hey, Amy, I'm gonna go take a break. Why don't you give us a review of that music video? I'm gonna put you and only you on the screen, and then I'll be back. Okay?
I will keep going here while you take a break. I'm glad to help to be here, co-host. So,
All right. Can you give us a review of that music video and the song and stuff, and the
I
poetry that was
will.
in it?
Yes, I will. So I have been talking about
All
it.
right.
And,
I'll see you soon. I'll be back in a little bit. All right. I'll be right
yes, we'll
back.
see you soon, Jim Byron.
So long, everybody.
Yes,
I'll see you in a bit.
so long for a bit. So I hope I'm still on here, and Jim Byron is not on camera, and we have not done it this way before, but it is cool. So basically, I really do want to just like say that was 14 years ago, and many of us were there, and we remember what was going on during that time in history, and who was in office, and how peaceful protesters were received, and that was obviously a peaceful protest. I think it's very interesting because today again is a big deal in Minneapolis. I am born in Minneapolis, and I have very much been a political activist for my whole since I was 14. My mother was afraid I'd get arrested and have an FBI file. I already had the FBI file besides John Lennon. By the time I was 14, I'm like, Mom, no. He's got like 5,000. I probably have like 500. And I'm sure I've said this on camera before. And I'm not trying to brag, but this is a passion for a long time. And that was peaceful. And it's meant to evoke peace. And I'm just glad to see it. And especially around these issues right now about free speech and who has that and who does not. And we're not all going to get baited into a certain vibe. There's no and that's this machine. Yeah, I know the song. I've heard it many times now, but that is a great message, and the album is coming together. And when this machine loves people, and the one before is if you can see this, you're alive. So that's two now, and that really ties into Jesse Wells as well because they say a lot of things through the music. So do other recording artists throughout antiquity. I mean, back to Farm Aid, 40 years now. I was 8 years old and I've been listening to it ever since. Live Aid, Farm Aid, and Bob Dylan and Neil Young was there. And there's a long list. And Jim was there and played music. So this is not something like all the rhetoric and the talk of things that are buzz. This is not the time to, my mom taught me sometimes not to show up and not to give it the bait it wants. Because, when you're debating, you do have a straw man. And I'm not going to be that. And that's not what we're here for. You don't have to, that's so binary. And so, yes, I have to say that right now, hearing that and seeing that video and hearing the poem, and I'd like to read it, and have access to reading all those lyrics and the poem. I know I say that in almost every video, but this is a great way to archive it and to remember it and to celebrate the changing of the tides and the shifting of the tides and times they are changing, and to create and not to let social media or other servers suck in, because there is a time to walk away from things. and gravitate towards things that are more, uplifting. I've always listened to reggae too, and I was just reading a review about I did it for Jim Byron. I on Sail into the Wind, and the punishment's on there, and that's the one where it's like basically love the person on TV and hate your neighbor. Well, no, our time is precious here, and how we spend it, and what we talked about this in the last video. In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make, and the reason why this machine loves people is great is because it's okay. Fine, you can say that's like programming. Again, we talked about this a number of times too. But I'd rather I can cop to that. But I'm okay with that, knowing that and accepting that message. I mean, it's kind of like if the aliens came here and said, "Oh, we come in peace," the Stardust, is there life on Mars? I'm asking for a friend, just asking for a friend. But keep creating, because that's what's keeping. Like we have said many times, we wish Kurt was still here, and he's still inspiring many new generations, Gen Z. I live in a place where Gen Z approach me often and tell me they're wearing Nirvana shirts. They're still into this, and they're making music. And we're not going to be alarmist, and we do have the right to show up at City Hall, at the Capitol. And yes, you can fight City Hall. You can, and I have. And I have, proof of that fact. When the city council came for the Hard Times Cafe on the West Bank, Minneapolis, and Palmer's just shut down after many, many years. I'd say it was 50 years. I have not known life without that place existing since I was alive, and other places like that. So this is an ongoing thing where people have inspired us to create, and that's what the space we're creating here. And being able to do that doesn't have to be through mainstream media. And that's actually one of the last songs on the album. I wish I had I don't necessarily want to grab my phone, but I could actually do that. I could go to my phone and look at the review and kind of talk about the essay I wrote or the article. I mean, I won't call it an article because I haven't published it as an article. It's a review of Sailing to the Wind that I have published on LiveJournal. So I've started publishing poetry under Happy Medium Review on LiveJournal, which it's been a goal to do that, but I've really put my mind to it. So I've been doing it, and not just, I mean, I've been on here. I think this was written a couple years ago, maybe not quite a couple years ago, like 2024, I'd say. So early 2024. But I'm gonna go look forward here on my phone because I'm not the one who's hosting, but I can't play footage. Well, Jim is not in the on the screen. So, "Sail into the Wind" is an album by Jim Byron, and I really talk about. I'm going to go to the parts where it talks about the song. It's November 23rd of 2022. So we've established in another video that's during the midterm elections, right? And we kind of said, well, there's always one. When you think about it. But one of the things that I talk about is the two songs I talk about from Sailing to the Wind. There's 10 songs on the album. Are the punishment? Oh yeah, it's The Punishment, and that's the one I keep quoting, which is "Love the people on the TV set. It's your neighbor you should hate." And track 10 out of 10, that's the last track, is kind of the solution. Leaves us with a solution. It's called "The New Mainstream," and basically, I'll just read this right off the review here, or the essay. Basically, this song is a great way to end the album, as it invites us to lend our voices and creative talents to the world to help solve some of these problems effectively. And it also talks about, like, one of the things I said, I just come across a quote by John Lennon in a meme. Meme was quoting John Lennon. And it said, there are no problems, there are only solutions. So, you know, I love seeing this, and that's one of the things that we're doing here with this channel is archiving music. And we would love to have other artists on here and find ways to do that and be even more diversified that way. But right now, we really have stuck to
other artists. Is that what you said? Other artists? You wanted there to be other artists here? Here's one.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying, I know, and that's what I talked about other stuff, but then I was wrapping up to say that we would love to include other artists, like whether it be videos or they're a guest or whatever, but copyright, right? Which kind of is an interesting segue into the next subject. We didn't really talk a lot about Jesse Wells winning the American Free Speech and Music Award and where that happened. We went and we
we're going to talk about it. We just have to get to it. That's all.
All right. And I also talked about the punishment and the new mainstream and Sailing to the Wind, and talked about a little bit about the review, the essay about it. Because I think those are great tie-ins as well, and messages for this particular moment in time. And it does even mention that your message remains relevant. I said that about Bright Eyes too, because it's true. It's kind of a timeless message.
Hey, Amy, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's watch Jesse Wells accept that award. I think we've delayed long enough. I think they want what they want. You know what I mean?
Certainly. Well, we filled in a lot there, and we got to play some music, and now we're going to play Jesse Wells.
All right. Well, I have to add it to stage. Sorry, guys. This is getting into the technical. Jesse Wells accepts award. I'm going to take both of us off the stage, so it's just the video. All right. Then I'll put us back on afterward. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? Stood me right about there, and she said, "Hey, John, look up. What do you see?" I said, "Oh God, I see daylight." The roof was leaking and all that. So after a while, yeah, it's true. They closed this place down for a long time. Then they renovated, and here we are. Anyway, I'm here to talk about a special award. You know, through the years, some people have called me difficult, but it ain't me. It ain't me. It ain't me. Folks tend to think of my generation when they think of protest songs. Oh yeah, my generation made their fair share of them. Boy, I think about Bob Dylan myself. But anyway, the past doesn't own protest songs. They've always been a product of the present. And in our particular present, amen, with so much that's worth protesting, no one is doing it better than Jesse Wells. Barely into his 30s, Jesse keeps a close eye on national and world events from his home in Ozark, Arkansas, to sing news for his million or so TikTok followers. Man, what a world, eh? The songs Jesse comes up with are straight talking, sharp, and right on time. But what makes his songs timeless is the humanity in them. He's rooting for the people and rooting for good to prevail in the world. Oh, Lordy. And there's something in his songs that makes us believe we might just get there, hopefully in time. I'm proud tonight to present, oh boy, I'm going to say this once and then I'm going to say it my way, all right? I'm proud tonight to present the First Amendment Center and Americana Music Association Spirit of Americana Free Speech and Music Award. I am proud to present the Americana Free Speech and Music Award to Mr. Jesse Wells. Come up here, Jesse. Here you go. I'll see you later. It's all yours. See y'all later.
Give it up for John Fogerty, man. Folks don't get into folk music because there's awards, you know. They're more or less compelled to by that shard of divinity that's in each and every single person, compels us to create stuff. All that being said, it feels nice to get an award, you know. I thank John Fogerty quite a lot for being so friendly with me this week. And I appreciate Jed over at the Americana Music Association. And I thank all my team, all my buddies and friends, and Bo, Aaron, Mary, Eddie. I couldn't do it without you. Kara, Garrett. There's other folks too. I don't remember their names right now. Life is too short to not say exactly what you mean all the time.
Wow. I saw that guy smash a guitar on stage at Newport. That was pretty cool.
If Jim is still showing up or if I'm still on the screen. I see that we're still on the timer here. They're coming back. I love it. It's exactly what I was talking about a lot before when you took a break for a moment, and it's a great time to everything I was saying, and it was great to hear that. Now, I don't know if it matters when it was. When was that? Was it recently?
Hey, Amy.
Hello.
It was a week ago.
It was great. A week ago. So it's very current. And that's great. That's really encouraging, considering I was just talking about the new mainstream as well, from Sailing to the Wind, and how that song in particular does offer the same kind of solution to the social issues and commentary. And
yeah. Hey, I think I want to take another break. Do you want to take the stage again and just give your review of that award acceptance speech and everything in that historical moment? I mean, that's big, right? John Fogerty, Jesse Wells. I mean, that's huge, isn't it?
It is certainly a big deal. And the fact that it happened a week ago, You know, and one thing
And,
that came to mind was
and just today, I was at Farm Aid. I went to Farm Aid. I went to Farm Aid 40, the 40th anniversary of Farm Aid, and I
wish I could have been
played
there. I was like,
out
so I would love to
around
be there.
the stadium, and
Yeah,
there, and that was the first
you're breaking up,
together,
and
but they
were
shared the
all,
same stage. Bob Dylan and Jesse Wells shared a stage today. I was there. Well, I might have missed it. I'm sure what time everything happened, but like I played there too.
yes, you did, and I would love to have been there. Like, you know,
I
that's
even
like,
made $20. I made $20, Amy.
you got paid to be there, basically. I mean, you look at it that way, you know, and paid to
I
play.
earned it. I didn't get paid to be there. I got
All
there. I
right,
went there and I earned some money. I didn't get paid to be there.
It was no, exactly, recognition, and that was something that was, it was so nice to see.
All right,
the young
Amy, I'm going to
artists
let you
recognize
respond to that award acceptance speech. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take another break, all right?
certainly. I might need one after you come back.
We have
I want
5
some hot
people
chocolate.
here, so that's pretty cool.
You know, I can't see that, and that's probably because my screen.
And I'm sorry, everybody, that the video didn't show during the acceptance speech. For whatever reason, the computer decided it wasn't going to show us. So that just was what it was.
Well, we got to listen to it, and it showed it for a while, so we got to. I did not see Jesse Wells on the screen, and it would be nice to have seen it, but to hear it was wonderful and uplifting. And it was really kind of very interesting because I said a lot of the same things when I was talking about the shifting of the tides. And we had watched the video, and Jim has been writing this song, This Machine Loves People, and I haven't really had a chance to ask them what they played when they went to Farm Aid and earned $20 to be there and play music. And one thing that came to mind when I was listening to the speech at the Free Speech Awards, Jesse Wells' acceptance speech, was it would be fabulous to be recognized. And we'll talk more about that when the next part, when Jim comes back from break. And then I might take a small break for some hot chocolate because I ran out of beverages. Maybe next time I'll have 2 ready. You know, you learn as you go here. And I've learned too, it doesn't always have to be perfect, but perfectionism is going to impede progress. And that's a hard lesson, but it's true. So, again, just back to even the footage we had of shifting of the tides. It was great to see that. And like I said, it's a cipher, so I was in to watch. Fast forward to Back to the Future. We have Jesse Wells accepting a speech, a free speech award, and timing. One thing that we have decided here is we're not doing any kind of much for clicks. And I think Jesse talks about that in the acceptance speech about you may not be the most popular person sometimes when you sing protest songs, but too many protest singers and not enough protest, or too many protest songs and not enough protest singers. And one thing I'd love to talk about at this juncture is civil disobedience being part of the fabric of America, the United States of America, and civil disobedience, but also, we can call it protest or use bus terms like peaceful protest or whatnot, or we can say that there's an art, it's pacifism, and it's called passive resistance, and it doesn't involve weapons, such as like weapons. This machine loves people. I mean, it's not weaponizing love. I mean, if weapon is, if love is the weapon of the future, we've seen the meme out there. It's a response, and not being baited into reacting and feeding the machine of. I mean, again, we're not going to keep saying name, and it's not out of fear, it's out of respect for our own time. And I think Jesse talks about that in the acceptance, the acceptance speech as well. And I actually made a post on Facebook not long ago, but while I'm here on Earth, no one's gonna make my life a living hell. Like, what we do with our time is sacred, and I feel like we've kind of like that's a common thread through this video and how we use our time. And I'm very mindful about that. And it's not just time, but it's energy as well. And the energy that we put into the world is the impact, our legacy. You start thinking about things like that, when the years go by, just like, that footage, Shifting of the Tide, is from 14 years ago. And of course, Farm Aid 40. And before, Neil Young was there, For Dead in Ohio, And me and my therapist were talking, Dr. Tom, and it was like, well, we were trying to think of the ultimate, like, rattle, kind of like, not rattle so much as like folk heroes. And there was a long list of people that is still growing, and Jesse Wells is on that list, and so is Jim Byron. And anyone. I even talked about how one thing that me and Jim were talking about was like how we often wish Kurt was here. I didn't feel that way about Hunter S. Thompson. Like, what would Hunter do? And I remember we have James Carville, who was quite close to him and has made some remarks, but it's not the same as getting a book. Like, I'm not insulting you, James Carville, but getting Hunter's book out here and his insights. So that being said, if we, and I also even talked about that in the essay I wrote about Sailing to the Wind, the review. We'll just call it a review because it's literally what it is. It's a music review. It's an album review. So how, there's really nothing new under the sun, let's say, but the people who, it's legacy. And like Jesse said, there's still things unfolding and ongoing. And that is a common thread to a lot of the things that we write. Whether it be, there was a poetry, at the end of the video in Shifting the Tides. Again, I would love to have a hard copy. That's just me. I know we are in a digital age, and a lot of stuff I'm writing is digital, but it doesn't mean I cannot manifest it into something I can read at an open mic, because I want to keep that alive too. Community is very important. And again, back to Palmer's and the community. I grew up in a very close-knit community, Seven Corners, West Bank, Minneapolis. And we definitely have a legacy, and a lot like Hunter Thompson and the Meatneck era. I mean, it's probably, those, some of the people who we call old timers knew, they hung out with it, they're from the same generation. Well, they're actually not quite, because I believe Hunter is silent generation, and some of them are probably silent, and some of them are boomers. But we have to remember that we predecessors and legacy and impact and carrying a torch, even like, okay, so Hunter's not here, Kurt's not here, but we are. And that is another thing. If you can read this, you're still alive. Is song, the first one here, and then the second would be the newest one here, This Machine of People. And that's something I love about Jesse Wells, and I see a common thread with Jim Byron. And one of the reasons why I love Jim Byron too is that it takes what's happening in real time, like protests, folk music, poetry, and movements. Not movements. I mean, there's a term that could be a little buzzy right now, but social change. Times they are changing. How generations, or Jim Morrison comes to mind. 5 to 1. I got into a bus that runs around here, and someone from Gen Z is like, "Oh, I love that beat, that song," and I have like my 3 favorite Doors songs. What song is that one? And I'm like, 5 to 1. Then I talked to her about it. Like, I wouldn't probably have picked up a pen to write without. I mean, I started writing when I was like 8 years old, and by 10 I had like written My Brother Is Driving Me Crazy, And of course I miss him now, in retrospect, and it was really cute. The story wasn't malicious. It was just lighthearted, very inspired by something like Judy Blume. So it was quite innocent at that point, and it was kind of, satirical a little bit, and it was cute. I wish I still had it. I can't even think about the illustrations I did for it, and it was fun. I don't know where I might have been watching Jim Byron on a reel, and they were actually doing comic strips, and I did that as well as a child. I've always loved animation. Even music came to me through the Muppets. I remember the first time we made a video about that, the Kermit era, because a lot of times Jim Byron reminds me of Kermit, and to see that earnestness in human form through music and artistic expression. I mean, obviously, the person who created Kermit is Jim Henson, and the voice of Kermit is Jim Henson, and the philosophy of Kermit. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that, and I find it fascinating. I could spend my whole. I'm 50, and I've been doing that since I believe it was 76, or no, it wasn't 76. It must have been like 77 or 78. The Muppets movie. I saw it with my dad in the theater, and that's when I wanted to pick up a guitar right there and then. The minute I saw Kermit and the Rainbow Connection, it was done. And Jesse talks about that in the video about how we inspire. What do we inspire? And what do we create is important. And when Jim comes back, it would be very interesting to hear the new mainstream and to think about that and how it's very relatable right this moment. But one of the things that all these people we're talking about have in common is they remain universal and timeless. It's a very important way that continues to inspire many generations in that time and even for a long time. Hello. So I was just babbling about the video, and I you'll see what
I'm back.
You're back now. So now I talked a lot about that, and do you want to shift the tide here on the subject? And I want some hot chocolate, so I want you to do something you can do that will take me about 5 minutes off the screen, and I'll be back.
What do you want to do?
Go grab some hot chocolate. I have to go into a different room.
What do you want to do, Amy?
Grab some hot chocolate so I have a warm beverage.
All right, I'll take you off the screen. Do you want me to play the new mainstream?
Yes, I'd like to hear it, but again, I'll watch the video and I'll get to hear it later. Even though if I'm not in the room, I'll be back.
Well, you've heard it. We have to keep the show rolling. We can't wait. But
no, okay.
I'll play the new mainstream, and you can hear it in the background.
All right, that's what I'll do.
What?
I'll take this. I should be able to actually take the speaker with me. So I'll take the speaker into the kitchen when I go in there, so I can hear it. I'll be back on the screen.
All right. All right. Excuse me, everybody. I'm just getting my song, The New Right in Your Face. All right. Oh, come on. Computer, do things right. All right, come on, let's go. Jim Byron, The New Mainstream. I'm going to get a copyright claim on my own video here, but I will make money from it. So that's the power of copyright. I'm actually going to get paid for this. Get paid to
I'm being told this is and his partner Doug is the gentleman under the security guard.
Only paying for cheap. Liberty, 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 liberty.
All right.
Karaoke. Mine just pop theme. You know what? I'm something of a karaoke connoisseur. What's this? Brad wants new messaging. And he wants it by Friday? Try trying to throw me off my karaoke game. Grammarly's got me covered. Let's sound more engaging. Oh, yeah.
On skip ad.
I think I saw it in a fever dream. In a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream. It's a new way to get the news. Hurry up and get your subscription. I think I saw it in a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream. I think I saw it in a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream. A new ecosystem of political shows. It's a new vision, sail against the wind that blows. I think I saw it in a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream. I think I saw it in a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream. I think I saw it in a fever dream. The corporate media makes me want to scream. Now we're playing for a different team. Check it out, we're the new mainstream.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms are the same.
And I cannot see Jim on the screen, but I'm sure they'll be back. And, you know, I did talk about it a lot before you played it.
Hey.
One of the things I grabbed from it this time hearing it is I love the line "Fever Dream." That's great. Great.
I want to show us Jesse Wells' song, but it seems like every time I pull up a video on YouTube, like the computer just stops working. So I don't know if I should, but I mean,
Well, one thing
have you heard the song "The Poor" by Jesse Wells?
No, I haven't. I've only
I'll just play
recently
part of it.
been listening to them. I don't even know.
If you worked a little harder, you'd have a lot more. The shame, the blame's on you for being so damn poor. It ain't the price gouging, and it ain't the inflation, and it ain't the millionaire preaching how he wants to screw the whole congregation. That's all I know, and I barely got it right. Have you heard that song?
No, but it's good. I like it, and it was actually kind of.
Yeah, Jesse Wells. You really can't beat Jesse Wells. You know what I mean? Jesse Wells is great.
It's exciting to discover this, like right in, like when I have watched their reels, it was because you were like talking about it, and I was like, oh. And
I'd say let's start talking about 22, unless you have more to say about Jesse Wells and the Free Speech Award.
No, I think we've covered that enough, and we are at like 57 minutes, so we might as well go on to the next thing here, which is 22. It's 22 eternally. Is it eternally 22 or 22?
We're talking about the song 22, Amy.
Oh, 22,
we're talking about the song 22.
Got it.
There's 22 eternally, which I wrote first, and then as a parody of myself doing a parody of Taylor Swift, as if she started taking herself less seriously, I wrote the song 22. And then I did my best to try to make it a sequence of events where she would play it, and that happened. So I don't hold it against her that she took credit for the song. That was the whole point. It was like to see what would happen if that happened. Well, it happened, and we saw it happened, and it turns out that maybe it would be a good thing if people knew that I wrote that song, you know?
I hear you, and I would like, whatever you want, I'm here to listen to and to add, because we have talked about this, and we have been talking about this throughout the video. So in a way.
All right, well, why don't I play it? Why don't I play 22?
All right, let's hear it.
It feels like a perfect night to dress up as hipsters, make fun of our exes. Oh, 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 oh. It feels like one of those nights. This place is too crowded, too many cool kids, and lonely at the same time. It's miserable and magical, oh yeah. Tonight feels like a night where we forget about the deadlines. It's time. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Everything on me alright. You just keep me next to you. You don't know about me, but I guess you want to. Everything will be alright if we just keep on dancing like we're 22. 22. And if you want proof that I wrote a song that was very similar to that, I purposely didn't give all the evidence that I wrote the song because I wanted Taylor Swift to get credit just to see what would happen. But you can go to jimbyron.com, which is like my secret Bandcamp page that has the evidence that I wrote a song called 22 Eternally in like, what was it again? Like October? Like it was published on October 2010. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
October,
you're skeptical. I mean, there is actual evidence. I'm not just saying it's out of nowhere. You know, I'm
that's the thing about the
willing
digital.
to back up the claim. We can investigate it as much as we want to. I also just want to say that I'm not holding it against Taylor Swift for doing it because it was like an agreement that we made. I just wanted to see what would happen. But at this point, I just want credit and I want the money I earned, you know?
Is it about the money or is it about more recognition?
Probably more than $10, right? Don't you think I earned more than $10 for that one or more than $20?
You know, I'm sure that's true since it's a very popular hit. And it's so interesting you're a folk rendition of it as a you know, versus I love folk music, but
you heard it here, guys. You heard it here. Jim Byron wrote 22 by Taylor Swift. It's not really written by Taylor Swift. You know, it was written by me. You know, I just picked her. What if we got a lawsuit? That would be great. Do you have any idea how wonderful that would be? That would be like the perfect opportunity for me to prove my case. It couldn't get better than that. Oh, Jim Byron gets sued by Taylor Swift for writing one of her hit songs.
You were being deposed. You seem like an innocent individual at that point.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna let this go. She's a billionaire. She can afford it. She can afford to pay me my dues for that song I wrote. You know what I mean?
She paid it to Spotify. Okay, so Bombify, you know, I mean, we talked, you know, but those, you know, those bombs do begin to add up, you know. What's one more bomb?
Yeah, it's definitely added up by now. I want to cash in.
Like, yeah, because, you know, again, I feel like one of the things that Jesse Wells was so honored, it would be an honor. And
well, let's actually get to the point. Let's actually show everybody the evidence. Let's pull it up. Let's go to jimbyron.bandcamp.com and just show everybody what we're talking about.
I want to be the one that's like, you know.
Does that sound like a good idea to you?
Yeah. It does. I'm not exactly the brain at the moment in this operation since you have the button. You can push the button.
You're definitely the brain of the operations, Amy.
Wait, thank you for that.
We're both the brain of the operation. We both have brains.
Yeah. I was making a Animaniacs reference there, just so you know. Pinky in the Brain.
Oh, the pink. Well, I wouldn't call you Pinky.
Thank you. All right, so we are now playing 22. Is it? I don't want to get this all messed up in my head. Is it 22?
We're not playing it. We're just showing the evidence that I wrote the song. Okay.
You know, I love the folk version, by the way.
This is the evidence that I left in 2010 that I wrote this song.
And somewhere, I mean, my screen isn't large right now, so let me see if I can see it.
Everybody can see that it was released
October 27th of 2010, right there. And I told myself that as a writer, anyone really got
this was published on October 27th of 2010. A song called 22 Eternally. Does that sound similar to the song 22 by Taylor Swift? And is it really attributable to a coincidence? I mean, like, I tried to get away with the fact of that for a while. But the truth is that, like, I'm almost 40 years old and I've been doing this for a long time. And, like, the music industry just keeps on coming up with ways to screw me over. So I figured, like, I might as well just get credit for a hit song I wrote.
Yeah, and I hear you there. And the thing,
right?
Well, again, definitely. So here are the lyrics are here. And is this on Bandcamp? Yeah, Bandcamp. So
it's on Bandcamp.
You want me to read the lyrics aloud?
I'll read the lyrics.
All right.
I'll just play the song, actually.
Yeah, that would be even greater. Because we have the lyrics right here.
All right. The song is called 22 Eternally.
Now that Jim Byron doesn't remember the
lyrics. Strung out walking down the line. Never on the clock, 'cause I don't have the time. Loose leaf like autumn, never bound at all. Spitfire tempered like the dawn of fall. I never lose my head, 'cause it's already gone, and I'm alright. I'ma be a child long as I can, till I'ma die like an old man. I will never change internally. I shall be 22 eternally, and I'll be fine, home free, on a freeway ride, contemplating about times and tide, fountains of youth, unconditional love, a brain full of ideas about peace on earth. I don't give a shit about anything else, 'cause I'm so naive. I'ma be a child long as I can, till I'ma die like an old man. I will never change internally. I shall be 22 eternally, and I'll be fine, eternally 22. That's what I'm gonna do, and I won't miss out on anything, 'cause all I need will come to me, and I don't need to be owing anything to anybody, 'cause it's all stolen, and it's all a crime, and all I did was to be born at the wrong time, and I got ripped off enough to get away. Now I'm busy on a constant shift. I'm sick of peddling petty theft, 'cause I'm not hungry and I'm not afraid. This stupid television never got me laid. I'ma be a child long as I can, till I die like an old man. I will never change internally. I shall be 22 eternally, and I'll be fine.
I love it. You know, it's so interesting to hear it an acoustic, like when you play 22, and then 22 eternally. Like,
don't you feel like I play the song 22 by Taylor Swift as if I wrote it? Like, isn't it weird how well I know that song?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I would say so. And not only just that, how well you, because I mentioned that, but that you would know the words off the top of your head, but also just that you were able to take it from a pop song to a folk song.
What?
You see, I mean, I see how music's all interrelated in a sense, but the fact
Well,
that,
it
you know,
started out as a Jim Byron song on the acoustic guitar, so really it was taken from the folk song to a pop song.
certainly, and Taylor can play the piano and the guitar, can't she? So I think I've seen her play the piano.
Oh, Taylor's great. Taylor can play a lot of different instruments. Taylor's incredibly talented. You know, long live Taylor Swift. I'm a Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. That's why I picked her to play the song. I just figured now that she's like a billionaire, she could at least do something to credit me
We
for
talked
it.
about
You
this
know, like
over
why does
a
it have to be
good
a
length of time, Jim
no? I
Byron,
mean,
and
I
this
get
is a
it that
solid
like it was
example.
a fun prank while it started and while it lasted, but at this point, I'm like starting to get desperate to be able to pay for anything.
Yeah, yeah, pay, and I'm not dismissing that. You deserve, definitely, you earned it. Just like you said earlier, like when I don't know what you got paid to be there, and then you said you earned it. And that's language, the way we use words, it's important, right? They're kind of sacred in a lot of ways. I talked about that
Yeah,
in our legacy and what we're putting out here in the universe, right? I mean, this machine loves people. And I'm not even saying that there was any anger.
this machine loves people. This machine loves people. It loves the good ones and the bad. It loves the lame ones and the rad. The ones you got and the ones you never had. This machine loves people. From the apartment to the steeple. The ones on farms, the ones in boats, the ones that sink, and the ones that float, the ones that fly, and the ones that die, the ones that lie, and the ones that tell the truth. This machine loves people. And that means you.
Yes, I love it.
All right. Well, I don't know if you want to discuss more. Like, I want to give you some time to just talk to everyone, like just solo by yourself about the whole Jim Byron writing 22 thing. I'm going to take another break. I'm going to put you on stage by yourself and just keep talking and don't worry about me. Like when I'm back, I'll be back and you'll see that. Okay.
Certainly, I've come to accustomed to that now at this point
All
in
right,
time.
everybody. Amy's going to discuss how Jim Byron wrote 22, or at least the evidence suggesting and leading to that. Right?
Yeah, and I will revisit it because we have spoken about it, so I'll keep discussing it and just kind of use that as a
Awesome.
springboard.
All right. See you later.
See
you
you
in a bit.
A little bit. A bit. So now I'm the one that's on screen, and so again, we are not being contentious. I mean, music. It's interesting that a lot of this tonight's conversation is about. I want to choose my words carefully. Building on things like that have a legacy. When Jesse accepted that award, what an honor. So again, one thing that I know when me and Jim discussed that song 22, having written that song, and the timestamp on the Bandcamp with 22 Eternally and the message. And I mean, I guess one of the things I've discussed, in this video a lot tonight was not just copyright and buzz terms and legalistic language like that, because that's not what it's about. I mean, what Jesse talked about in that acceptance speech was building on the times and carrying it on and continuing to be inspired by it and inspire. And as me and Jim kind of try to we kind of really talked about making this video over this week and waited until the right time to do this video. Postponed it several times this week, but really worked on it by having conversations about this. And I think it's very interesting that at the Free Speech Award, where Jesse Wells is honored by John Fogerty, that his speech talks about that, about how he wants people to build on that collaboration of artistic legacy, like Bob Dylan. Like, Bob Dylan is big, huge, I can't give him enough praise. And Jim Byron is very inspired by Bob Dylan as well. So it's no offense. And the song literally, Jim does talk about how the song really was like in a very lighthearted it was about not taking ourselves too seriously, and that's a very beautiful thing. We even discussed, like, as someone who's wearing a cross right now, I think about Jesus when that's one of the things that I always resonate with me about Jesus since I was a child, that he was definitely not only rooted for the underdog, but for for children and protecting them, and to remain like one in our spirits. And another thing that came to mind when we talked about this was one of the ways that I kind of mastered that myself. My mom was like, "You're not much different at almost 50. Now I turned 50 this year, 50 this year." So I was born in 1975. Very glad to be Gen X. She's like, "You're not much different than when you're 2." No, some people might take that as an insult, but no. It's very much like the message in 22. And I love 22 eternally. Like, that message, it is that message. And again, when we get to losing that, I even wrote about recently in my, speaking of being inspired by other artists, I wrote about a poem about this. And I could pull it up again because I'm somewhat, here's my phone and live journal, but it's called Heartlight. And it's on Happy Medium Review, but it has a similar message. And I hear that coming up a lot on social media right now, about saying things like, well, who espoused this message and where did it originate from? And I know this is going to sound like a little hippy dippy in this moment in time with all these terms floating around the universe right now, but New Age is the one I'm thinking of here. But collective consciousness, I mean, that's, it's like that's Jung, I suppose, but that's not where it originates from. I mean, even I think back to the 90s, and I'm very much the dream of the 90s. That's funny because that's from, of course, Portlandia and Fred and Carrie, and there's a song, which comedy and music together are just the greatest. And that's something I enjoy about a lot of the music I listen to, and Jim Byron really nails that. Bringing levity to this situation. Some of the things that we've written together, we kind of collaborate on. It's funny. Oh, and I don't want to forget my thought, which is Kurt taught me how to master staying youthful and young at heart since I was a teenager. Here I am, Mom. It's not just a phase. I'm so fond of pointing that out. I'm sure Marilyn Manson. I respect and cherish his art. I'm sure his parents felt the same way, but he never grew out of it. And actually, I can't say I'm sure they felt the same way, because there's that great picture of him and his father. And his father has a make bond too, which is fun. And what a bonding moment. And we'd hope that our parents are that cool to us, and really, understand. I mean, one of the interesting things is a lot of I think of The Wall and Bowie, and I've done a lot of since I am Happy Medium Review music reviews, and I've been obsessed with music my whole life. But Bowie talks about that, how being The Wall, The Who, they are children from people who fought the war, and not Vietnam, but then they're in the age category to have to be old enough to be in Vietnam or drafted. I mean, I guess I would guess their parents were in the. We gotta be careful with this one. I'm kind of blushing here. Elvis was drafted to, was he drafted to Vietnam? I mean, really, seriously. And I would have to do some serious research, and because I'm rusty right now, what war, Pink's father would have been fighting? The Wall, of course. But that's a response, and art is a response to that. I mean, 1984 is a great example. And when Eric Blair, aka George Orwell, wanted to publish that book, he wrote it in he was writing it in 1947, and he wanted to call it 1948. And they're like, oh no, too soon. He's like, well, the most I'm willing to do is to transpose those numbers, instead of being 48. Well, just call it 84. So it's not a sci-fi novel. It's social commentary. And the trick that Kurt taught me was in All Apologies when he says, "I wish I were like you, easily amused." And that's one of the things I love about Nirvana is, but it's not just this tongue-in-cheek sarcasm, and not just like kind of low-hanging cultural references, but no, and it's not even cryptic. It's social commentary. And back in the '90s, us Gen Xers had a saying: if you're not angry, you're not paying attention. And there was this other kind of thing where it was you were a sellout if you were successful. Well, Jim Byron has kind of had to like talk me out of that philosophy of being a sellout, and that goes back to wanting to get paid for your art, and not just getting paid. Sure, I mean, it's not that technical. Obviously, the song 22 Eternally is telling us the opposite of that, like not to be hung up on that and not take it too seriously, but to enjoy it. And don't let the joy be sucked out of you. But it's I wish I were like you, easily amused, and no all apologies. And of course I want to say no apologies because I always felt that's what he really meant, like, all apologies, But yeah, staying easily amused, that I've even talked about that in videos before. My mother, like, I have always had a very vivid, wild imagination. And I was on Facebook and talking to my friend Sabrina, and they're like something about escaping from reality. I'm like, imagination is the the only weapon against reality. But it's also a way to create better solutions, and we talked about that, and even with the new mainstream. So I've been I won't say I was babbling, but I was discussing and building on things we've already discussed. And now what's the next thing we're doing? You'll get to see it later, just like I will, hopefully, one day.
Well, we're going to finish this live now. I'm going to use my free speech and play a song that requires free speech to say. And also, I'm using Jesse Wells' songs "Structure," "War Isn't Murder" to create my own song called "Slavery is Freedom" in a very Jesse Wells style way. So
that's
Jesse Wells is credited as a songwriter on this song, just so you all know.
What did you say? War? Like, say that again. Say what the title of the song you're going to play.
This song is called "Slavery is Freedom."
Right, and it was funny because I just talked about 1984. You'll see it later, but go on. And you didn't even hear that, but that was kind of.
You were talking about 1984. You know how they say freedom is slavery? I'm just reversing that, and I made it a song.
That's incredible that just happened, but there's proof. Just like there's
Synchronicity City. All right. Can I play the song now?
Certainly, of course.
All right. Slavery is freedom, ain't that a laugh? Money is God, we trust in the gap. So bend your knees, they'll kiss the sky. Dig your grave for a wage, but you'll never die. Rocket Man's high, he's got coin to the brim. The richest man lives in a cage that owns him. Once bought the vote with a big stack of cash. Threw his weight around, made the ballots crash. Own your own soul, he tweets with a grin. In an empire owned by him. Slavery is freedom, ain't that a laugh? Money is God, trust in the gap. So bend your knees, you'll kiss the sky. Dig your grave for a wage like you'll never die. Rich people, let's talk about rich people. When you're rich, the hardship just ain't the same. Your whole life becomes a meaningless game. You can buy drugs to ease the pain, but you can't buy the joy, nothing to gain. Slavery is freedom, ain't that a laugh? Money is God, trust in the gap. So bend your knees and you'll kiss the sky, 'cause It's your grave for a wage, like you'll never die. So pick those strings for the broken band, machines that work. So pick those strings for the broken band. Machines work like devils till the whole world is spent. Rich man's locked in his glimmering snare. Freedom's a jest, we're captured to hear. Slavery is freedom. Howl or weep, a fistful of wealth in a world hard to beat.
I love it. And that was like, again, going back in time and synchronicity, there's times when you're out of room. I even talked about you can fight City Hall, and what a beautiful note to end on, literally, like, and metaphorically speaking too, and how it tied into the whole video. And I'm proud of us this time for really staying on the subject. We're getting the hang of this thing. And I love the live performances as well.
Yeah, I just figured I would do the same thing that Jesse Wells did about war and just do it with the economy, I
mean, again, great tie-in, because he even gives the credit back to, and I talked about that in the video, like again, Farm Aid 40, is today. Well, it is still today, I suppose. It happened today.
What a big day, right? What a momentous occasion.
And what a perfect time for that. And that's what we're going to focus on. And that's been a big part of this video, is levity and not, again, making fun of, a dumpster fire, but bringing peace to the table as another alternative to
Yeah, I just feel like people think it's okay to be a slave as long as it's to money,
Well, that's one way again, with the wealth of material that you have, we could keep referring back to that coming up in your work a lot,
Did you notice that a lot of people who make a lot of money have a very slavish attitude, especially rich people?
Oh yeah, it's very fear-based, because what is that term they use? Like a volatile, like the stock market is volatile. Well, so it's society, so it's society and things changing, and either you kind of change with the times or you don't.
Or the times change with you.
Right. And it's very Buddhist thought to think, again, there's that buzz term, New Age. We heard that one this week, right? Sometime.
What?
What are we going to dwell on? One of the things is somebody said something to the effect of empathy is a New Age concept. And that's so sad to hear. It's well, we're not going to get sad and dwell on all that, because that is not the case, right? And what we, it's
not a New Age concept. The idea has been around a while.
I think monkeys understand. I'm not insulting monkeys.
Empathy is just something that exists. It's not just a concept.
Animals have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe we should wrap it up soon so we can get to bed and stuff.
Yes, and I think this is a beautiful, peaceful, wonderful note to end. And again, I appreciate it. I am excited. I get really excited to watch these videos because I am a super fan of Jim Byron. So I watch their reels and videos. I wait for them. But then when we post these, they don't come out immediately. So it's the anticipation. So, I think there's another one that still hasn't been made it past yet, and that was 3 days ago. But sometimes, depending on where you originated from, it can take longer. It's kind of a social experiment to see if it goes up faster from StreamYard. The last one we did was from YouTube. So
yeah, I just wanted to do it on StreamYard because I wanted to show stuff on the screen.
Yeah, sharing screens and such. Times they are changing, and technology is ever growing and expand, and it's ever changing.
The tech, it is evolving.
Yep, that's another one. So we'll be back again and again and again, That's our plan.
We'll be back. See y'all later. Thank you for coming.
See y'all later. Pieces.
This has been Sing Into the Intercom.
And Happy Medium
hosted
Review.
by Jim Byron and Amy Muchko of Happy Medium Review. So long, everybody. Say goodbye, Amy.
Good night, everyone. Peace.